Titanfall 2 has a more measured pace than its predecessor, making the build-up to its climactic battles just as enticing as the events themselves. It's every bit as kinetic and fluid as the first Titanfall, but in many respects, it's a much better shooter. As with the first game from Respawn Entertainment, Titanfall 2 revolves around two layers of combat: conventional firefights between human combatants and clashes between massive bipedal mechs. As a boots-on-the-ground pilot, Titanfall 2 feels more like a traditional shooter, albeit one with pristine controls and a fluid traversal system. Then it comes time to call in your mechanical ally from orbit, and everything changes. Because it's when these two layers engage in a tug-of-war that Titanfall 2 reveals its true brilliance. What was once an even fight becomes a David vs. Goliath scenario as a pilot escapes to cover and calls in a Titan of her own. Momentum often shifts like this as one team gains control of the battlefield only to lose ground when the other notices a weak spot. This is crucial in Titanfall 2. Now more than ever, combat requires forethought and intelligence. Despite the bombast and spectacle, Titanfall 2 is a thinking person's shooter. The sequel's new Titans embody this sentiment. In place of the basic light, medium, and heavy variants from the first game, Titanfall 2 employs 6 distinct walking battle tanks with arsenals of their own. They're almost like superheroes. One attacks with a thermite launcher and flame weapons, while the other fires a chest-mounted laser cannon at unlucky opponents. Each of these Titans' abilities are easy to learn, but difficult to master, as the saying goes. Their loadouts immediately make sense, but the more you play, the more emergent scenarios you'll find. Learning the intricacies of each Titan is paramount not just for offense, but defense too. There are elements of fighting games, or MOBAs here. Each Titan has a tell, and you only have a few brief moments to counter it to your advantage. The new Titans also lend a very different pace to multiplayer matches. While the first Titanfall was always cranked up to 11, so to speak, with smaller maps and cookie-cutter Titan variants focused on dealing damage, Titanfall 2 understands the value of breathing room. It doesn't burn you out with an onslaught of firefights. Its maps are focused on exterior environments, and are often on the larger, wider side, giving you time to plan out your attack based on your Titan loadouts. Each multiplayer mode facilitates Titanfall 2's interwoven combat systems, but also twists the formula in creative ways. Bounty Hunt is my favorite. You gain currency by killing the enemy team and AI grunts that litter the map, and at the end of each wave, you're given the chance to deposit your loot in banks. The thing is, the other team is doing the same thing. It's a frantic game of cat and mouse that increases in tension as the banks open and players rush to gain points. That expert attention to pacing and momentum carries over into Titanfall 2's single-player mode as well. It follows Jack Cooper, a militia rifleman turned pilot, and his sentient Titan BT-7274 as they battle the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation and the Apex Predator mercenary group. Unfortunately, the writing here is lacking. Your main enemies are outlandish villains, and the plot ends abruptly before it feels like it should. And while there is often humor and sentiment to be found between Cooper and BT, the jokes become rote when they focus too much on the Titan's inability to understand human sayings and turns of phrase.
Missing me already?
I was not shooting at you. That would be in violation of Protocol 3.
Never mind.
Yet in terms of design and pacing, the 4-hour campaign is fantastic. It gradually increases in velocity and scope, coalescing in mid-air ship battles, frantic Titan charges, and old-school boss fights.
Woo! Now we're talking!
As you progress through these missions, you'll unlock all of Titanfall 2's Titan loadouts, gaining the ability to swap between them on the fly. This grants the campaign a dynamism not entirely present in multiplayer. You can enter a battlefield, discern the situation, and choose a different Titan based on the scenario, all in the span of several seconds.
Good work, pilot. Your skills are greatly improving.
So Titanfall 2 accomplishes several things. It introduces seemingly minor changes to its multiplayer